again mentioned $165 million that have been paid out on Long Island since 2000. That's not been looked at in an organized way.
Thomas Mayer reported his story for Newsday. He now sits on the editorial board. Thomas, thanks so much for this.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Support for WNYC comes from NJPAC and the North to Shore Festival, presenting Carlos Santana on June 21st and Alanis Morissette with guest Amy Mann on June 22nd at the Prudential Arena, Newark, New Jersey. Tickets at northtoshore.com.
It's Morning Edition on WNYC. I'm Michael Hill. Matt Katz with us this morning. We have witnessed the consequences of powerful, influential voices speak and spread misinformation and disinformation on social media and cable television. Truth needs a voice of reason, a voice of sanity, a voice of truth. That's just as powerful. And increasingly, that voice is WNYC. Member dollars, your dollars, support WNYC. That's why it matters you become a member right now. Support what you value. Support what you trust. Please give as generously as you can right now at WNYC.org. We do have a donate button there, or you can call us, 888-376-9692. That's 888-376-WNYC.
Maybe you're a listener like I am who cannot wait for the weekly episode of On the Media to drop. It goes into the feeds, I think, sometime tonight. On the Media helps you navigate a changing media and political landscape, helps you become more engaged, informed consumers of news and information of all kinds. I absolutely love this show. Recently, On the Media has reported on the embattled family behind a media empire that inspired the HBO hit series Succession. The mysterious affliction of Havana syndrome. That segment was just amazing. And On the Media's spin-off show just won a Peabody Award. The Divided Dial is a Peabody Award-winning series. I should call it a series. It was a 4-part series, not a show, but it comes from the folks who bring you On the Media. And it won a Peabody Award. It's from journalist Katie Thornton. And it explains how right-wing talk radio helped to reshape right-wing politics in America. You can actually hear The Divided Dial this Saturday, tomorrow, noon till 4 on WNYC. The Divided Dial, like everything here at WNYC, is really essential listening, and it's made possible by you. It was made possible thanks to the financial support of our listeners. You're the reason why that series won a Peabody Award, straight up. I mean, it's all because of our listeners. We could not do it without you. Please continue to support WNYC, or if you're not a member yet, become a sustaining member by making a monthly donation. If you make a monthly donation of $40 a month, we have 2 tickets to Wait, Don't Tell Me for you. Live show, Carnegie Hall, December 14th. So call in now, 888-376-WNYC. That's 888-376-9692. You can also always go to WNYC.org right there on your phone and click on the donate button. Thank you so much for your continued support.
Internet companies hang on to a key legal shield.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by UiPath, providing organizations the UiPath AI-powered business automation platform. More at uipath.com/marketplace. UiPath, the foundation of innovation. And by Charles Schwab. The people at Schwab are passionate about helping investors. Learn more at schwab.com/whyschwab.
For Marketplace, I'm Nova Safo, in for David Brancaccio. First, there could be a debt ceiling vote soon. Both the White House and congressional leaders say negotiators are making progress. Marketplace's Nancy Marshall-Genzer has the latest.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy told reporters he thinks negotiators will reach a deal to raise or suspend the debt limit in time for a House vote on it next week. McCarthy sounded more optimistic than he did last week. He says negotiations are in a much better place. Some congressional Democrats aren't so happy, though. They're pushing back against McCarthy's demands for stricter work requirements for some federal aid programs like SNAP. Congressman Ro Khanna of California said he would strongly consider voting against the bill if stronger work requirements were added. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders complained that Senate Democrats weren't getting updates on the talks and don't know what's happening. The White House says there's been steady progress. President Biden had a 20 to 30-minute chat with his negotiators and, quote, made clear the need to protect essential programs. I'm Nancy Marshall-Genzer for Marketplace.
In a pair of rulings yesterday, the Supreme Court decided in favor of Twitter in a case brought by the family of a victim of a terrorist attack. The family accused the social media company of aiding extremist groups because their content appeared on its platform. The High Court also sidestepped the need to directly address a legal shield known as Section 230, which protects social media companies from being held liable for what users publish. Dina Temple-Raston explains.
The justices focused their attention mostly on Twitter versus Tomna, which was looking at the question of whether Twitter's content encouraged a terrorist attack on a Turkish nightclub. And the long and short of it is that the court said it didn't think platforms were responsible. As they saw it, a neutral recommendation algorithm can't be seen as aiding and abetting terrorists. And the justices said their decision in Tomna informs this second case, Google versus Gonzalez. That's a case that asks whether YouTube and its parent Google should be liable for radicalizing young men who attacked Paris in 2015 because their recommendations algorithm fed them ISIS content. Naomi Gonzalez is an American student who was killed in those attacks. Tomna, the justices said, resolves that question. So they sent the Gonzalez case back to the Ninth Circuit, and they said that the judges there could look at one little part of the case that Tomna doesn't address, whether Google's revenue-sharing model provided revenue to ISIS and in that way somehow aided and abetted a terrorist group. So it looks like Section 230 lives another day, though Justice Jackson hinted that this wasn't over. She wrote that the decision was a narrow one, and they could decide differently if the facts of a future case were also different. For Marketplace, I'm Dina Temple-Raston.
Let's do the numbers. While overseas, the FTSE in London rose 0.4%. Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ futures are up, but just barely for the NASDAQ. The Dow future is up about 100 points. The 10-year Treasury yield is up at 3.69%.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Total Wine and More, where you can find a new favorite Chardonnay, sparkling wine, or tequila. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. B21. And by Odoo, a full suite of integrated business management software dedicated to helping businesses of all sizes with manufacturing, project, and inventory management. Odoo.com.
WNYC is supported by Bank of America, offering access to resources and digital tools